first chapter is to revise. And basic things what I am going to teach is the types of reactions. You have studied about the earlier other one. What is an equation and why should equation be balanced? Equation we are defined it as is a qualitative and quantitative and quantitative representation of a chemical reaction by means of symbols and formulae. Symbols mean you know that elements are represented by symbol and molecules by the formulas. What do we say? Qualitative, that means the type of reactant, quality of the reactant. Suppose like we say, when carbon is burnt in oxygen, we get carbon dioxide. You know the physical state of carbon is solid, right? Oxygen is gas and carbon dioxide is gas. So this is the quality of the reactants and the products and quantity. Quantity means when you write down about the balanced chemical equation. We are studying why should a chemical equation be balanced. Chemical equation be balanced to obey the law of conservation of mass. 9th class you are studying. During chemical reaction, mass is neither created nor destroyed. You know, matter is or mass is neither created nor destroyed. Therefore, there is a law of conservation of mass. A chemical equation must be balanced to obey the law of conservation of mass. Now you can see carbon's atomic mass is 12, oxygen is 32, the molecular mass of the carbon dioxide is 44. This is what is a balanced chemical equation. In case a question is asked, simple equation thinking that balancing of the equation. Balancing is only what I say that it is a triangle of the I'll take one example. So you think this is a one. C2H6 plus O2 will give carbon dioxide plus 4. This is to be balanced. You start catch hold of any element and the balancing must begin from there. Alright. So here there are 2 carbon, so I write it as 2 CO2. Carbon is balanced. Here there are 6 hydrogen, so I write 3H2O. Hydrogen is also balanced. Now we look for the number of oxygen atoms. 2 is 4 plus 9, here there are 7 oxygen. 7 oxygen atoms. And here we have O2. O2 means diatomic molecule. So to make it 7, we make it as 3.5. So when the whole into 3.5 means it is 7 by 2. Then the whole equation is multiplied by 2 C2H6 plus 7 O2 will be 4 CO2 plus 6. Reaction balance so simple. Any other molecules? No, we have only molecules. So what I say that 7.5 to balance number of oxygen atoms are taken 7.5 same molecule. Now to eliminate the half, the entire equation mass we are studying, the entire equation is multiplied by 2. So therefore we are getting 2 C2H6 plus 7 O2 becomes 4 CO2 plus 6. Then 4 plus 6 48. 6 is 12, hydrogen, everything is balanced. By random practice, we begin each and every day. Can be balanced so easily, nothing to worry about that. And you will be getting simple equations to balance. You catch hold of any element and go it from the right and left, one next in that method you can balance. Alright? Chemical equation is to balance to obey the law of conservation of mass. Especially in class we are studying that law. During chemical reaction, mass is neither created nor destroyed. The total mass of the reactant must be equal to total mass of the product. Therefore, the equation is balanced. Understood it? So you may get a question like this: balance the following equation. That is one part. And if not, fill in the blanks like some this one blank will be given and complete and balance it. That is very rarely they ask. And in case they ask, the reaction will be coming from the NCERT. Nothing to know. All right. So NCERT book, whatever chemical equations are given, you should know. Agreed? Okay, now the next one is types of chemical reactions. The first one is reaction of combination. It is easier for you to remember the equations that are given in NCERT book. But I say that any equation, when hydrogen is burned in oxygen, we get H2O. and this will release lot of heat. Hydrogen when burnt in air or in oxygen, we get a smoke, will be releasing lot of heat. So, and this is the characteristics of combination. Energy is released. So what is combination combined? Showing is number of reactants combined to produce a single one. Number of reactants. And what are reactants? Reactants are chemicals that take part in the chemical reaction, and the products are which are obtained after the reaction. Reactants are those which take part in a chemical reaction, and products are those which are obtained after the reaction. The number of reactants combined and we get single product, and that will be accompanied with the release of energy, and that is the reaction. Yeah, study it in metals not well. Sodium burns and oxygen to produce sodium oxide combination. Energy is released. Understood it clearly? So any number, but don't ever say that when methane is burnt, all combustion cannot be the reaction of combination. Methane, CH4 is burnt, then what are the products we get? Carbon dioxide and water, not a single product. Understood? So combination is a reaction in which any number of reactants combine and we get a single product, and that formation a single product will be released by the release of energy, and that is what is known as reaction of combination. Understood it well? Any example like in CRT, this is example one. Calcium oxide crystalline, or it is also known as simple lime. Lime when combines with water, H2O, we get calcium hydroxide that will release a lot of heat. Whitewashing is done with crystalline. Oh, earlier time, it's not what we are doing is color washing. It is not that, it is a whitewashing which is done with crystalline, tuna. How do they do it? Tuna is brought on the previous day and put it in a container with additional water. When water is added to quicklime, there is a sound produced which is known as hissing sound. Hissing sound is produced. That is, and remember this term is used only when calcium oxide to which water is added. Understood? To the quicklime when water is added, hissing sound. That sound is produced, because why that sound is produced? This addition of water or the formation of calcium hydroxide is highly exothermic. Tremendous amount of heat is released, and that will make the water to boil, and therefore it produces a sound which is known as hissing sound. So that is also important. Identify the sound which gets produced when quicklime to which water is added. When water is added to quicklime, we get hissing sound and the formation of calcium hydroxide. Understood it? And this calcium hydroxide in chemical language is known as slate lime. It is known as slate lime. And slate lime is used for whitewashing. What is taking place in whitewashing? Whitewashing is this is taking place. We have got calcium hydroxide. Atmosphere has got carbon dioxide. We will be getting calcium carbonate plus H2O. And this is the white coating which is formed during the whitewashing process. Understood it well? I'll explain the process. Quicklime is taken, to which water is added. Additional water to the quicklime produces hissing sound. Tremendous amount of heat is released, and that will be becoming calcium hydroxide. And that calcium hydroxide solution is taken and applied onto the wall. The atmospheric carbon dioxide plus calcium hydroxide will form calcium carbonate. That is a glaze coating which is formed when we do the whitewash. And the calcium hydroxide coating will be formed in 1 or 2 days' time. Understood it? So, slate lime, that is calcium hydroxide, combines with carbon dioxide and then it makes calcium carbonate. And this is the white coating that is formed, and that is a chemical reaction that is taking place during. Understood it? So combination reactions, understood it? Number of reactants combined. Don't ever think that only 2. Any number of reactants combined, and the product must be 1. One product with the release of energy. Understood it? Anything, magnesium you have burned in 9th standard. Magnesium burns to produce bright flash of light, plus what is produced? Magnesium oxide and one single product. Two or more reactants combined, that means magnesium plus oxygen, it becomes magnesium oxide, it is released. So that is the reaction of combination. All right. Okay, the next one, reaction of decomposition. Decomposition is just opposite of combination. What does it mean? A single reactant split, decompose to produce two or more products. A single reactant, that is, so you can understand elements cannot decompose. The decomposition will be taking place only of molecules. Understood? So reactant, a single reactant split or decompose to produce two or more products, and this decomposition will absorb energy. Understood? A single reactant split to produce two or more product, and that will take place by absorbing energy is known as decomposition reaction. And in decomposition reaction, there are three different types of decomposition. That is depending on what type of energy is absorbed. If heat is absorbed, then it is thermal decomposition. And if light is absorbed, it is photochemical decomposition. And if heat like electricity is absorbed, it is electrolytic decomposition. So what do we say? Decomposition is just opposite of combination. First point, what is that? In combination, two or more reactors combined, we get a single product. And in decomposition, a single reactant split to produce two or more products. First point. Second one, in combination, energy is released. You can simply take the example of when coal is burned, carbon is burned, we get carbon dioxide, a lot of heat is released. Hydrogen is burned, we get H2O plus heat is released. Or forget about that, you have burned magnesium in the lab, a lot of heat and light is released. The combination is the one in which energy is released, and decomposition, energy is absorbed. Understood it? Because the most common forms of energy that are available are heat, electricity, or light. Understood it? So decomposition by absorbing heat is thermal decomposition. In metallurgy, since we did not study that, I am telling you, there is a term which is known as calcination. Calcination means we heat the ore strongly in the absence of air. Understood it? And that process is done, which is used for the making of quicklime. Like we have taken calcium carbonate, limestone, marble. When it is heated strongly, it decomposes to produce calcium oxide, carbon dioxide. This is decomposition, thermal decomposition. So any metal carbonate on strong heating decomposes to produce the metallic oxide and carbon dioxide. Any metal carbonate on heating decomposes and forms their metallic oxide and carbon. Alright? Now, any bicarbonate, so what I am giving you the general statement. Any bicarbonate on heating, decompose to form their respective carbonate, carbon dioxide, and water. Any bicarbonate. So, for example, we heat sodium bicarbonate, NaCO3, baking soda on heating, it forms NaCO3 plus carbon dioxide plus H2O. Decomposition. So remember, when a metallic carbonate is heated, we get metallic oxide carbon dioxide, whereas when a bicarbonate is heated, respectively carbon and carbon dioxide. Clear? So this is what is thermal decomposition. It's not necessary for our example. You can take anything. Understood it? Calcium bicarbonate on heating becomes calcium carbonate plus H2O plus carbon dioxide. And that is the cause of temporary hardness. Hard water is the one which does not produce lather with soap easily. So when the water has got calcium bicarbonate, the water has calcium bicarbonate CH, CO3 O2 when it is heated, it forms calcium carbonate plus H2O plus carbon dioxide. So what is done? When this calcium bicarbonate is soluble in water, we heat the water. When the water is heated, it becomes calcium carbonate, H2O and carbon dioxide. And what is this calcium carbonate marble? Is this marble soluble in water? It is insoluble. So the hardness is. So remember, any metal carbonate, bicarbonate on heating, we get carbonate, carbon dioxide plus. You know, you are studying how oxygen is prepared in the laboratory. Potassium chloride, KClO3, KClO3 on heating, it becomes potassium chloride plus oxygen. That is why it is used in explosives. You know, to get potassium chloride in the lab, you need to take the permission from the government. And most of the school laboratories won't be having this potassium chloride because it could be used in the making of destroying elements, that is like explosives. Understood it? So why you know that an explosion occurs when it is uncontrolled combustion. Uncontrolled combustion. Now what happens when the uncontrolled combustion is taking place? That takes place with the availability of oxygen. So when all these explosives, whether it is potassium chloride or any other one, on heating, that will release tremendous amount of oxygen. And this oxygen will accelerate the rate of combustion. And that causes destruction. Have you understood it well? That is it. You know that recently in that Beirut explosion, ammonium nitrate is used. Long time back in Mumbai train, serious explosion, ammonium nitrate was used. What happens to ammonium nitrate? Any nitrate on heating decomposes to produce oxygen. Understood it? Potassium nitrate is used as one of the constituents in the making of gunpowder. Why it is used? The potassium nitrate has got no, it is not an explosive. Well, what makes potassium nitrate to be present in gunpowder? Because upon heating it, that will release tremendous amount of oxygen and that accelerate the rate of combustion. And that is how it is being used. So nitrates on heating liberates oxygen. Understood it? And for that, you know that the rate of combustion depends on the availability of oxygen. More the oxygen, more destruction. So anyway, this is about the thermal decomposition. Understood it? The next one is electrolytic decomposition. What is electrolysis? You are studied in the lower classes. Splitting of a compound into its constituents. A compound is split into its constituents by absorbing electricity. Molten sodium chloride, through which when electricity is passed. Through molten sodium chloride, when electricity is passed, we get sodium and chlorine. That is electrolysis. H2O, during electrolysis, we get hydrogen plus oxygen. That is what is given in the NCERT book. The water is to be electrolyzed. That is an important activity. Very often the questions are asked. So what are the things which are likely to be asked in that? Pure water is a bad conductor of electricity. To make it good conductor of electricity, we add a little bit of acid, alkali, salt, whatever it is. We have to make the water impure. Understood it? So we take distilled water, put 2-3 drops of diluted HCl, that makes that water good electrolyte. And when electricity is passed, H2O is decomposed into hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen, remember, it is electropositive. Therefore, it will be collected at cathode. Remember, long time ago I told you, hydrogen is the only non-metal which is electronegative, electropositive. Rest all non-metals are electronegative. Understand it this way. So during electrolysis, hydrogen will be collected at cathode. Understood it? Cathode is a negative electrode. No, you can understand that. So hydrogen get collected at cathode and oxygen will be collected at anode. And one H2O contain H2 plus half oxygen. That means if we balance the equation, you all know that 2H2O will give you 2H2 plus 1 O2. That means 1 oxygen. So every 1 molecule of oxygen, the hydrogen molecules are 2. So the ratio of hydrogen to oxygen volume. Remember, there is a law which says, Gay-Lussac's law which says the volume of a gas depends upon number of molecules or number of moles. Volume of a gas depends upon number of moles. You take a balloon, blow some air, it gets some volume. You put more and more amount of air, then what happens? Volume of the balloon will be increased. Am I right? So volume depends upon number of molecules. So the gas, where the gas is to be collected, we get 2 volumes of hydrogen and 1 volume of oxygen. So volume of hydrogen will be twice that of volume of oxygen. Understand? And on which electrode oxygen and hydrogen are collected? Remember, all metals and hydrogen are collected at cathode and all non-metals collected at anode. So hydrogen will be collected at cathode, oxygen will be collected at anode. Understood? How are these gases tested? Testing, you know that oxygen supports combustion. See, if a burning splinter is put into a jar containing oxygen, it burns more brightly. You understood it? You have a cylinder or a jar containing liquid oxygen is collected, and you put a lighted mastic or a splinter, wooden splinter, which is burning, and as you are putting it into that, it burns more brightly. Because remember, combustion needs oxygen. So that is a test of oxygen. And hydrogen, simply say that pop sound, not the answer. The jar containing hydrogen, bring a lighted mastic, it burns with pop sound. Remember in chemistry, pop sound is used only for hydrogen. No other gas burns with, we don't say that LPG in our kitchen burns with a pop sound. Does it so? No, no. So hydrogen burns with a pop sound. How do we proceed for that? How would we test the gas? To the gas jar, bring a lighted mastic. To the gas jar, bring a lighted mastic. And if it burns with pop sound, it is hydrogen. To the gas jar, if we put a burning splinter, and if it burns more brightly, it is oxygen. This is how we test hydrogen and oxygen. So remember the questions what have I told you? Electrolysis of water. Why should water be acidified? First reason, pure water is a bad conductor of electricity. To make a good conductor, we must make the water acidified. First point. The second one, where are these gases collected in? Hydrogen get collected at cathode and oxygen get collected at anode. What are the volumes of these gases collected in? When you draw the diagram, in case the diagram is also asked, you may have to draw that. So make sure the diagram that is given in NCERT book is to be drawn. The volume of hydrogen should be twice that of volume of oxygen. Understood it? This is about electrolysis. Understood it clearly? No, it's not necessary. Suppose like if hydrochloric acid is electrolyzed, 2HCl will give you 2HCl when electrolyzed will be hydrogen and chlorine. Right? In this situation also, what are the things we are going to get? Hydrogen is collected at cathode and chlorine is collected at anode. The volume of hydrogen and chlorine are equal. Isn't it clear? So that is what you should know. Understood it? The next one, photolytic decomposition. Another black and white photography. Silver bromide, by absorbing light, get decomposed to silver and bromine. In fact, we can say all silver compounds are photochemicals. All silver compounds are photochemicals. So that is the reason all silver compounds are packed in dark colored bottles. Understood it? Silver compounds are photochemical. But if it undergoes decomposition, then only we can say that photochemical decomposition. Understood it? So silver bromide get decomposed to silver and bromine. NCERT activity is given. You take a container in which silver bromide is kept, and after some time you go and check it out. They turn to black, and that is what I say that photolytic decomposition. Understood it clearly?